5 News This Morning starts now.
Well,
Hey.
we're doing it at the same time. We're
You
just
go right
eager
ahead.
to be here.
I was just eager to say good morning.
Yeah, happy Friday, everyone. We're so excited you're here with us on 5 News This Morning Plus. One thing's for sure this morning, on this Friday, it's cold. It feels like it could snow. But sadly,
Yeah, we're going to have to bundle up. Maybe an extra jacket today, a scarf, something like that.
Yes, definitely bundle up, have the layers, because although it's a little bit warmer this morning compared to yesterday, it's going to be chilly for the entire weekend. And as Tiffany mentioned, kind of rubbing salt in the wound. It's cold enough for snow, but
Just can't pull it off.
I know. I can't find the words. I'm just so sad.
so upset.
Anyway, we'll show you what's going on right now across the region. We are seeing some sunrises about to happen in the next 25 minutes. And it's going to start sunny today, but we are going to see cloud cover build in from the north. Temperatures you see there in the mid-30s across much of the region, lower 30s there in parts of the River Valley. So, yes, a little bit morning than this time yesterday. But some areas, though, are a little bit cooler. You can see some upper 20s along I-40. Now, Fort Smith, the station's down, but you can kind of estimate if Ozark's 28, Van Buren's 29, and Styles is 28, well, probably either 28 or 29. The rest of the area in the 30s, although Waldron, pretty warm there in the 40s. So, yeah, compared to yesterday, about a 10 to 15 degree jump, so a nice little bump up for us. But temperatures later today aren't necessarily going to be that much higher than yesterday. In fact, they'll be about the same for highs. And that's because this northwest wind is going to get pretty strong at times today. We'll see it anywhere between 10 to 20, especially later this afternoon, gusts up to 30. And then overnight, it'll stay out of the northwest. Not super strong, about 5 to 15, but just enough to continue to reinforce that colder air and leaving us with a pretty chilly day for tomorrow. So if you're heading off to the bus stop, a mostly clear sky with that sun about to rise. Temperatures for the most part near 30 or in the 30s. Some clouds will start to build in for recess and winds will pick up, be a little bit breezy with temperatures in the 40s. Then a pretty windy afternoon. Temperatures probably staying in the 40s, maybe close to 50 in the River Valley, and will stay rather cool. Now, for precip chances, again, as Tiffany mentioned, it's cold enough for snow. But besides maybe some flurries, sprinkles, that's really about it. We will see later next week maybe a chance of some rain, something we desperately need because it is so dry, a lot of the state in moderate or severe drought. So we're hoping that we can get some rain next week, but in terms of any snow, yeah, this is not looking very likely. Flurries is the best we can do. Otherwise, we go ahead a cold weekend, and it'll be windy at times with, well, some layers definitely needed. We'll talk all about this here coming up in your full forecast. For now, I'll give you a live look at traffic on this Friday morning. Take a live look along I-49 at the Bella Vista interchange. Here you can see traffic moving along. Obviously, it'll pick up a little bit later this morning as people are heading off to work, but roads should be fine, just a little bit cool. Wind's not too bad this morning, so those traveling from north to south, good gas mileage on the, well, let me rephrase that. North to south this morning's fine, but south to north, if you got to travel home, you're driving in that wind, it probably won't be as good. We'll talk more about your full forecast coming up in about 10 minutes. Joe and Tiffany.
All right, thanks so much for that, Danny. 7:03 this morning, looking ahead, events honoring the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. are taking place across our area this weekend.
Organizers say that they hope to bring communities together to reflect, remember, and serve. 5 News reporter Jacob Luthi joins us now with a look at what's planned. And Jacob, some of these events are already happening today, right?
Yeah, some events happening today. The Northwest Arkansas Martin Luther King Jr. Council says they're in their 30th year of fostering education, advocacy, and research, as well as helping keep the legacy of the Reverend alive. Now, the councils also provide scholarships that supports youth through its Dream Keepers program and preparing students for future successes. The organization also stays engaged year-round through community outreach, research, and conversations aimed at strengthening and uplifting the African-American community across Northwest Arkansas. And this weekend, the council is putting on multiple events that they invite the entire community to. Starting today at 6 in partnership with Crystal Bridges, the council is putting on their beloved Community Festival, which will feature music, bites, dance, and more from cultures that make NWA great. This event is free to the public. Tomorrow, January 17th, the group is hosting its annual Day of Service, coming together to provide the community with free support and resources, including haircuts, hot meals, housing assistance, coats, and more. And their other events include an MLK Memorial Program at St. James Baptist Church in Fayetteville, a youth breakfast starting at 8 a.m. on Monday at Theater Squared in Fayetteville, and the NWA MLK Freedom March is being held indoors this year at Theater Squared on Monday at 11. Registration is required, but the event will be live streamed. Again, the council invites everyone to come out.
Most of our events, with the exception of the Community Service Day, will be held indoors. So the weather is accounted for, but we'd love to see the community No matter who you are or whatever your background, we want to see you. Again, this is the beloved community, so it's a space where everybody belongs.
Now, again, the council calls this weekend a recommitment weekend. We'll have more on what that means and the work they do throughout the year coming up at 7:30. Jacob Luthi, 5 News.
Thank you for that, Jacob. Lynn Fort Smith MLK Junior Day Parade will kick off at 10 o'clock Monday morning there on 7th Street and Garrison Avenue. Now, UAFS, just a few miles away, will hold a free public breakfast Monday at 7 a.m. in their Reynolds Room, and they'll also host a series of lectures throughout the week on campus in honor of the holiday. Well, this morning we're taking a look at literacy rates across the U.S., and the numbers may be higher than you think.
According to the National Literacy Institute, 54% of U.S. adults read below the equivalent of a 6th grade level, and 64% of the U.S.'s 4th graders do not read proficiently.
Yeah, so what does that mean for Arkansas? Well, here in the state, World Population Review saying that 44% of students are below that basic reading level. But there is a program looking to combat those numbers. It's Dolly Parton's Imagination Library. They deliver 82,000 books a month.
Yeah, and through the program, the Imagination Library provides one specially selected book to children in need. 1 in 7 children under the age of 5 receive books through the free program, with participating children developing stronger abilities.
Now, Arkansas's governor is backing the program, saying more children are getting a head start on reading due to the program.
Yeah, she says that all children born at UAMS will receive free books through the Imagination Library. After parents enroll their children, they'll get 1 book a month until they're 5 years old.
Yeah, that is 60 free books through the program, so quite a lot.
Nearly half of all kids 5 and under in Arkansas are enrolled in the program. That means that more than 100,000 kids have benefited from the program in the last year. And we're here to celebrate the partnerships that will help those numbers grow even larger.
Well, Governor Sanders says she hopes even more hospitals will take part.
Yeah, Baptist Health and CHI St. Vincent also partner with Imagination Library. Now, establishing good reading skills by 3rd grade actually sets children up for success.
So how can parents help? Well, here's a few tips.
Yeah, narrate everyday activities like meals or baths. That could help. And ask them questions and allow them to answer.
Yeah, you can also talk about the meaning of words with them, play word games like the sign game while driving, and summing up stories.
Yeah, so talking about books, we got a few. Tiffany, you and I, we love the book Corduroy.
Yes, but I have a few other favorites too.
You do?
Junie B. Jones.
Okay.
Classics. And then I was a big Barbie girl growing up. Shocker, because I love pink. And so all the Barbie books, those were really good.
Like the Babysitter's Club books. Danny, you have one you like, don't you?
Oh, we're talking about children's books. I love Good Night Moon. That was my go-to. Got it for actually my nephew, and I think he likes it. We got him the little bear that goes with it as well, but he kind of just throws that to the side. So.
And Harry Potter.
Well, yes.
Can't forget Harry Potter.
Oh, yes. In terms of like a little bit older books, Harry Potter is probably my favorite series of all
I
time.
figured it was.
I'm still team Junie B. Jones
Yeah, I was
over
going to
here.
say, I'm a little basic, but hey, that's all right. Hey, coming up in your forecast, going to push in. You can see some of this Canadian air that's already settled into parts of the upper Midwest. Well, it's going to arrive for us. And no, it's not going to be as cold as it is in Minnesota and Iowa. But here, we're still going to see some wind chills maybe in the single digits. We'll talk about that forecast here just a little bit.
And coming up in the Daily Brew, are you dead? Well, a new app is making headlines for how it's curing loneliness.
And sometimes love hurts. More on how Bird Sanctuary fundraiser is offering a cleanse from fresh breakups. We'll be right back.
5 News This Morning is sponsored by Indigo Sky Casino, McKinnon Law Firm, and Tucker's Furniture.
Fridays in January, 6 to 10 p.m. Play for your chance to win your share of $75,000. Beautiful hotel suites, delicious chef-created entrees, live weekend entertainment. Indigo Sky Casino, Highway 60 west of Seneca, Missouri. IndigoSkyCasino.com. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort proudly unveils Shawano Steak and Spirits, a stunning new dining destination. Experience succulent, masterfully prepared steaks, chef-crafted signature entrees, only at Indigo Sky Casino.
I'm Lauren McKinnon, a local Social Security lawyer. I don't work for one of those national advocates businesses that aren't even law firms. I grew up here. I've handled thousands of Arkansas and Oklahoma Social Security cases. I know my judges and what they want to win a case. Using the latest technology, my team files your application for you online. We appeal your case online. You never have to sit in a packed waiting room. Call, email, text, or video chat Laura McKinnon today. Always no win, no fee. I guarantee it.
It's Tucker's Furniture and Appliances' incredible Red Tag January clearance. When Tucker's has to make room, you will definitely save. Tucker's showroom is filled with Red Tag savings. Find hundreds of items marked down. Sofas and sectionals, Red Tagged. Dining sets and leather furniture, Red Tagged. Bedrooms and mattresses, Red Tagged. Plus, get interest-free financing for 24 months during the incredible Red Tag January clearance at Tucker's Furniture and Appliance.
Hey, well, welcome back. The time now is 7:10, and in your consumer news, the Urban Land Institute held its annual event on commercial real estate trends in Bentonville. This year, the group published a new report on the trends affecting growth in the region. Local analysts say the cost of land and construction plus labor shortages are moderately slowing growth.
The good news is that a couple of those things that we can control as a region, and those are infrastructure investments in the right place at the right time that will help the growth succeed where we want it.
The new analysis comes with a national report that's been happening for decades, which helps commercial real estate professionals see how the market is performing. And Arvis Bank is launching a new initiative to better serve Spanish-speaking communities. The bank is retooling branches in Springdale and Lawton, Oklahoma, to provide more Spanish language resources and bilingual staff. Arvis says over 500 employees are certified to offer services in Spanish. And a new tool is launched in California to help residents protect their personal information from being sold to data brokers. It's called Drop, Delete, Request, and Opt-out Platform. It's the first platform of its kind, but what if you don't live in California? Reporter Lee Waldman has more.
Tucked in the folds of the internet is information about you. Maybe your email, your phone number, or even your address.
Your phone doesn't ring because a spammer dialed your number randomly. They bought your information from a company that sold it.
Data privacy expert Harry Moggins explains data brokers work in the shadows, buying and selling people's PII, personally identifiable information, to create a dossier of your digital footprint.
Usually it's for commercial purposes like that, but oftentimes it falls into the wrong hands, and you have somebody who's trying to extort or scam somebody.
It's a long-standing issue that California is hoping to tackle with its website, the Delete, Request, and Opt-out Platform, or DROP, which came about through the passage of the Delete Act in 2023.
What California passed with the Delete Act is a groundbreaking law. It's the first of its kind in the nation.
The DROP website allows residents to submit data deletion requests requiring registered data brokers in California to erase their information. Matt Schwartz with Consumer Reports says nationwide efforts to tackle the issue haven't gone far.
It doesn't appear like it is very high on the priority list.
Experts we spoke to suggest people outside of California can contact data brokers or hire a third-party service to do it for you to ask for their information to be deleted, and should prioritize using a privacy browser like DuckDuckGo and Firefox. But most importantly, be careful about what you share on the internet.
Take a live look at traffic this morning. Here's a live look along I-49 at Mountainburg, and looks pretty nice out there. We're seeing that sun starting to rise, but we are noticing a little bit of cloud cover moving in from the north, and then it'll continue to push in from the north as we continue to see a cold front push in, well, from the north. Well, some of that cloud cover is off to the west as well, and as we're going through this morning, it is a little bit warmer than this time yesterday. We're seeing mid-30s northwest Arkansas, some upper 20s along I-40, and then some mid-30s there south of I-40. But just off to our northwest, really right now we're starting to see the cold front push through the area as we speak. And behind it, there is a little bit of some light flurries or sprinkles. Most of that will stay to the north of us in Missouri, but we could see some in far northern Benton and Carroll County. What we are going to notice, though, is that a second cold front is behind this one, and this is going to move through during the day tomorrow. And after all my John Madden drawing, you might be wondering, well, what does this mean? Colder air is on the way, and it's not going away for at least the rest of the weekend, as we continue to see northwest flow push in that colder air. So with that, highs today remain about the same as they have been the past few days. Mid to upper 40s in northwest Arkansas, low 50s in the River Valley. That's due to that northwest wind gusting up to 30 miles per hour. Sunny to start this morning, but those clouds will push in from the north, giving us a partly to mostly cloudy sky with maybe some sprinkles or flurries. For tonight, low temperatures in the mid to upper 20s. That flurry chance continues mainly for northwest Arkansas, otherwise partly cloudy, and a northwest wind that could stay a little bit breezy at times at about 5 to 15. As we head into the weekend, one of the colder weekends we've had so far this season, highs on Saturday will be in the mid-30s across northwest Arkansas, but the thing is, with the northwest wind that'll gust up to 30 yet again, those wind chills might not escape the 20s for much of the day on Saturday. Saturday night and early Sunday, a pretty chilly morning, lows in the teens. Highs, though, will warm up nicely into the mid-40s. We'll see some sunshine and a southwest wind that could be breezy yet again. For the River Valley, similar story. Highs in the low 40s for us on Saturday. Those gusts up to 30 makes that wind chill maybe closer to the low 30s at best. Then for Sunday, highs near 50. But before then, a pretty chilly Sunday morning with lows in the teens. And then we'll see that southwest wind maybe gusting up to 25. Taking a better look at what the wind chills are on Saturday. Mid to upper teens there Saturday morning as you wake up. Low 20s for much of the River Valley. For Sunday morning, it's going to be pretty chilly across the region. Single digits for much of northwest Arkansas. It does say 16 for Fayetteville, but I think Fayetteville will be pretty close to single digits as well. Then even upper single digits and lower teens across the River Valley. Then for Monday morning, pretty similar to what we'll see tomorrow morning. Wind chills in the mid to upper teens in northwest Arkansas and low 20s for the River Valley. Now you may be wondering, what does it look like maybe next week? Are we going to see a little bit of a warm up? And not necessarily. It will warm up a little bit next week. But you notice this colder air is going to continue through the end of next week, January 25th here. And you see this gray, which means it's not going to be colder than normal, but really a lot of this week has been right at normal. So expect more of what we've been seeing so far this week. So that's what the gray indicates there. But the good news is we're going to see maybe an uptick of some rain chances, maybe some snow, hopefully some snow, at least for my sake. But you see a little bit of a bullseye here across Arkansas and eastern Oklahoma. So there's a hope that once we get into late next week, those chances of precip will pick up. Before then, though, it's pretty dry, minus some flurries there over the next couple of days. Sunday, again, going to see some sunshine. Then Monday for MLK Day, we'll drop the highs yet again in the 30s, then back into the 40s and even 50s on Wednesday, and cooling down a little bit as we head into next week. Wednesday and Tuesday also look windy for next week, but warming us up instead of cooling us down. And again, that rain chance on Wednesday does look to be overall rather light, but maybe by the end of next week, seeing a little bit more of a rain chance. For the River Valley, again, maybe some flurries today. That's about it. Kind of yo-yoing back between the 40s and 50s. Then for next week, a little bit warmer to start with highs in the low to mid-50s, Tuesday through Thursday.
Well, hey, welcome to the Daily Brew. Today we're talking about a viral Chinese app that taps into loneliness. It's getting a new name, and you could probably tell why. In China, the app is called Are You Dead?
That's a pretty morbid
Yeah, that
title.
is morbid. I don't like it.
Okay, so here's what happens. It's aimed for those who live alone. It requires users to check in every day. And if a person doesn't for several days, they'll actually send an alert to the user's emergency contact to check in on them.
I think that this is a really good idea. I just hate the name.
Yeah, but it's straight to the point. But I do like the idea, like you said, because if you live alone, like let's say you have a health emergency, I wonder how many days is several, you know, like 'cause it's, you know, if you, let's say you have a health emergency and you have like a heart attack, you're not going to know for several days after, but at least this is something in the right direction.
Yeah, and not everyone has like a daily routine, right? They go to, you know, we've seen stories where someone's gone to a restaurant every day and then they didn't go for a few days, so they went and checked on them, but not everyone has that.
Yeah, so what they're doing is, since it became so popular, and I guess people were a little sensitive about the name, we can see why, they decide that they're going to adopt the name Dimumu for global users.
Interesting. What a change.
And they're going to require a subscription fee now.
Of course.
Well,
always.
I guess you got to make money somehow, but
Well, I mean, you just think about it. If you're the creator of that app, don't you want, if people are loving it, you want to make money from it?
yeah, no, I get it. It's just like, I guess it's not an essential app. It's just a handy app, but I do like the idea. It's just, I guess.
Just what if people can't afford it, but they live alone, you know?
It's sort of like Life Alert, but for maybe a younger generation.
That's true.
For sure, and more people have phone, you know, like if it's just going to automatically, because I think Life Alert was 911, right? And so this is going to do your emergency contact.
Right.
So.
Which, I mean, those people are the ones that, will come running. So
Exactly.
it's good to have. All right, it's hard to believe that Valentine's Day is just right around the corner, and it's getting a little wild in Anchorage, Alaska.
How wild?
Okay, so if you have an ex that you'd love to see symbolically, which is the key, eaten by an animal.
You're in luck, guys. You're in luck.
The Bird Treatment Center there is bringing back its Love Hurts fundraiser. So for $50, they will feed a symbolic rat to a bird of prey.
And you name it, your ex's name.
It looks like Hedwig.
So for everyone that's doing this, I'm sorry for whatever that ex did to you, first of all. And second of all, this is hilarious to me.
So a couple of things here. It's a little much, right? But at the same time,
It's funny.
and they have to be fed, right?
Yeah.
It's a circle of life. It's how things go. And if they could use that to maybe make someone feel a little better or have a story to tell and feed animals at the same time.
Is there a
It's like
college in
magic.
Anchorage? Because some college girls
Yeah.
with some
Oh,
broken
shit.
hearts, like this is it right here.
Wait,
This
so
is it.
what was the $100 option? So the $50 option.
That's the rat
Oh, you
with
can
your
name-
name
you
on
can-
it.
they
with
can
their
name
name
the
on
rat.
it. But you can, for $10, if you're not into like getting eaten, you can watch a magpie stomp on a red heart cutout with their name on it. So that's a little bit more chill if you're like mad at them, but you don't want to see them be eaten.
And I guess it eats mealworms while it's doing it.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
And you can get a video keepsake.
You can keep that for the rainy days. You can just take a little look at it.
Could you imagine sending this to your ex? Like, this is what I think of you. And it's just a bird just
I don't
stomping
even
on
think
your
you
name.
send it, Then we're breaking the no contact rule. You just watch it when you're like, this is why I don't reach out.
Just depends on how spiteful you are. If you're like, you're done, but if like those, like, yeah, I just want to tell you how much like you were a jerk, and then you send it.
Yeah, I'm just saying, things like that I want to keep private, but in this case, I might go public.
You think you'd post it?
I mean, maybe so, right? I mean, you're feeding them, and it's kind of funny.
Yeah, I mean,
It's hilarious.
if they did you wrong, then yeah, you might want to air out dirty laundry at times.
Yeah.
There you go.
I mean, because a lot of people start airing their dirty laundry since we got social media going now.
Yeah.
What I'm getting from this is don't take relationship advice from us.
Probably not the best thing to do.
No, probably not. But
We're all in very healthy relationships, though, but maybe there's a little hurt in the past.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we've all been there, right?
Right.
We've had a few people stomp on our hearts.
That's for sure.
All right, Spotify subscribers, get ready to pay more. The streaming service announced it's raising the price of its service by $1,
Do it anymore, guys.
which means those premium plans are going from 12 to 13, students 6 to 7, and if you have the family plan, $2 more a month.
I feel like they just went up to $12 a month like last year.
Yeah, and I feel like, as more people cut the ties with other traditional ways to watch TV, like they become more popular, so they'll charge more.
Yeah, I feel like everything's charging more. And what's so frustrating about this is like the streaming services, like for TV and music, like this is a way of life now. And so it's like you feel like you have to have something.
Yeah, I just wish they could all be in one place. It's so hard to keep up with all of them everywhere.
Oh, for sure. Well, I know one thing. I guess technically if it's Apple TV, Apple Music, it can be.
Yeah.
I'm not an Apple Music girl, though.
well, Joe, the problem is that would be a monopoly, and we can't have those around.
Can't have a monopoly.
Because then they could just charge however much they wanted.
Okay,
This is
fine, but
true.
could we just have one place where we could go find all of them?
That's
Remember
true.
when there was like free Pandora? Those were the
They
days.
still have it. It's just it has ads.
It has ads.
Same
But
with Spotify.
remember when you'd go and you'd buy the songs on iTunes? Like I remember for my 13th birthday, I
Yeah.
got so many iTunes gift cards.
I know, I love those.
And I would just blow them. I'd go buy all these dumb songs that made me laugh, like Pants on the Ground. You know, remember that on American Idol?
No?
I bought that one.
Oh, Joe. Oh, you got it.
Last.
Wait, which season was it?
Oh,
I
it
don't-
was forever ago. I was 13.
Tiffany will have to show you.
Yeah.
I watched like the first 3 and then I was out.
Oh,
Really?
then you missed it.
I loved it through Simon. Then after Simon left, I was like, all right, I'm done.
Chris Allen, Arkansas boy.
Speaking of, Simon Cowell has a new documentary on making a new boy band. Yep.
He has formed quite a few big ones. Didn't he help form One Direction?
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are some big ones.
I'm a sucker for documentaries, so I might have to.
And I love boy bands, so
It's
watch
a good
party.
one. It is. Yeah, it's a good one. Watch that one. Check it out. All right, it is 7:23 this morning. Stay with us. We got more coming up.
This is 5 News.
Good morning and happy Friday. I'm 5 News meteorologist Danny Casti. As you wake up today, seeing some sunshine across the region. The sun just rising now. You can see it there in Ozark, but some clouds are funneling in across parts of the region, especially on the western half of the area in the River Valley. And temperatures are a little bit warmer this morning in the upper 20s and lower 30s. But one thing we're going to notice as we get later into the day, clouds are going to continue to build and winds are going to continue to pick up, especially later this afternoon, where those gusts could be as high as 30 miles per hour. With it, as a cold front pushes through, maybe you could see some sprinkles or flurries. Nothing that's going to accumulate, though. The bigger story are those winds, keeping highs in the mid to upper 40s in northwest Arkansas, and then the lower 50s in the River Valley. For tonight, pretty cool overnight, lows in the mid to upper 20s. Pretty seasonal for this time of year, but again, we haven't really seen much of this consistently until really now for much of this winter, so it feels pretty cold. Flurries may continue, partly cloudy skies with the northwest wind about 5 to 15. Heading into the weekend, going to be, again, pretty chilly. Saturday, overall, the day is going to be pretty cold. Highs will be in the mid-30s, but wind chills probably won't escape the 20s even during the afternoon. We'll keep a flurry chance with the gusts up to 30 for the for Sunday, northwest Arkansas, mid-40s for highs, and a chilly low there with lows in the teens. For the River Valley, got ahead of myself, highs in the 40s on Saturday with that strong northwest wind. Then on Sunday with lows in the teens, highs near 50. We'll see some sunshine and a little bit of a windy day yet again before cooling back down for Martin Luther King Day. So basically a yo-yo forecast here of cold and maybe a little bit cooler. We'll talk more about that over on 5 News Plus in detail. Those wind chills in more depth and get you ready for the weekend ahead. That's over on 5 News Plus, which is free to watch and free to download on your smart TV and your smartphone.
Five News This Morning starts now.
Good morning. Thanks so much for waking up with us here, streaming live on the 5 News Plus app. I'm Joe Ellison.
And I'm Tiffany Lee. Hopefully you're off to a wonderful start on this Friday. One thing's for sure, if you're about to head out the door, it's time to bundle up, isn't it, Danny?
Yeah, I might want to grab the coat. I did that yesterday. I won't do the whole charade again today. But yes, it is going to be a little bit cool out there this morning. A little bit warmer than yesterday, but overall today is going to be about the same with temperatures. And winds are going to pick up, which is going to be a little bit gusty at times. We'll show you what's going on across the region. First, looking on the square there in downtown Fayetteville. 34 degrees in Fayetteville, but with a little bit of a northwest wind. Not much, just 6 miles per hour. That wind chill is at 29, and that wind's only going to pick up later today, especially during the afternoon. For Fort Smith, oh yeah, I forgot the station's down. Well, it's roughly about 30. and the wind's about 5 miles per hour. But the bigger story here is there's some cloud cover kind of funneling in, and that cloud cover will continue to funnel in through the rest of the day. So you could say about 30 degrees there in Fort Smith with Ozark, and Salsa being about 30, Van Buren at 31, some mid-30s in northwest Arkansas, and then Waldron there at 43, so a little bit warmer there in Scott County. Compared to the rest of the region, or compared to yesterday, I should say, 10 to 15 degrees warmer. So it is a nice jump, but it is still rather chilly. It's just that yesterday morning was, well, pretty cold. As we head through the rest of the day, as I mentioned, the northwest wind is going to pick up, especially later this morning through the afternoon. Winds could be as high as 10 to 20 miles per hour, gusts up to 30. And then overnight will be about 5 to 15, which isn't the strongest, but you keep that northwest wind, it'll continue to push in some colder air from the north. So if you're heading out to the bus stop here, seeing some mostly clear to mostly sunny skies, temperatures in the 30s, maybe even closer to the upper 20s for some. By recess or lunchtime, clouds continue to build in, be pretty breezy as well with temperatures in the 40s. And then with that northwest wind picking up, I think temperatures will stay roughly in the 40s, some partly cloudy skies, and then really just overall pretty cool conditions. In terms of precip chances, so it's cold enough to see maybe some snow. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, it just doesn't look like much besides maybe some flurries over the next couple of days. We just don't have really enough moisture to generate anything other than that. As we head into later next week, maybe we'll see a rain chance on Wednesday, but overall looking pretty dry over the next week or so. So as we head into later into the weekend, it's going to be rather chilly, as I've been mentioning, especially Sunday morning. Could see wind chills in the single digits. Winds will be pretty strong at times, especially today, tomorrow. Even Sunday could be a little bit breezy. And yeah, those flurries are there, but they're just that, flurries, which some of you may like just because it's scenic. It doesn't make any impact, but even that chance looks pretty light. So we'll talk about your weekend forecast, about the cold and those winds here coming up in your full forecast. For now, I'll give you a live look at traffic on this Friday morning. Head on over to just near the Rogers area, the south end of Rogers, along I-49 at Pleasant Grove and your exit 80. And you're noticing as traffic's picking up this morning, heading northbound into work, things are looking pretty nice. Headed southbound, also looking nice. Again, should be a okay day. It's a little bit breezy and cool at times. We'll have your full forecast coming up in about 10 minutes. Joe and Tiffany.
All right, thanks for that, Danny. The time now 7:33. And in just a few hours, election officials in Sebastian County are certifying the ballots for the District 26 race.
Yeah, this will include audits, recounts as they prepare for the February 3rd runoff. In less than 3 weeks, Wade Dunn and Brad Simon will face off in that runoff because neither candidate received a majority of the vote.
The runoff is scheduled for February 3rd.
We have 82 precincts that we have in this runoff, and we have 2 candidates on that ballot. So we'll be checking over 164 potential outcomes, not including the absentee ballot checks and everything.
Well, the race is being watched closely as lawmakers move toward discussions on a new controversial prison in Franklin County.
And this week, lawmakers focused on the impact technology is having on young children.
A Senate committee heard from experts on the adverse effects of excessive screen on children's well-being and development. They also testified about research showing that the technology schools are incorporating for learning may actually be detrimental.
Kids need time to be kids, to experience the real world, not to get lost in a virtual one.
Once countries adopt digital technology widely in schools, performance goes down significantly.
The hearing comes as the Senate considers legislation on the matter. The Kids Off Social Media Act would set a minimum age to use social media platforms at 13 and prevent social media companies from using algorithms to feed addictive content to users under the age of 17.
And President Trump is threatening to send the U.S. military to Minnesota as protests continue in the Twin Cities.
Overnight, more demonstrations against the presence of federal immigration agents. CBS's Jared Hill has the latest.
Another night of intense protests in Minneapolis. Federal agents pinned one man down as they clashed with demonstrators. The latest spike in tensions comes after an ICE agent shot a Venezuelan migrant in the leg earlier this week. President Trump Thursday morning threatened to invoke the Insurrection Act and send the U.S. military into the Twin Cities.
You have local and state leaders who seem to be encouraging violence and all of this madness. And the president's frustrated about it, and so are we.
That would probably lead to more violence.
As Minneapolis' mayor calls for cooler heads.
We cannot counter Donald Trump's chaos with our own
brand of chaos.
Cell phone video shared by a Minnesota state senator appears to show another version of what happened after Wednesday night's shooting. In the aftermath, a woman calls 911 pleading for help. She says her husband, the Venezuelan migrant, whom authorities say was in the country illegally, was chased by ICE agents before he reached his home and was shot in front of his family. According to the Department of Homeland Security, he and 2 others attacked an agent with a shovel and broom handle, and the agent fired in self-defense. As that investigation and the protests continue, volunteers are stepping in to clean up.
We picked up water bottles, milk cartons, gas canisters, flashbangs.
Helping where they can when that help is needed most.
Well, this morning we're taking a look at the fertility rate in the U.S., which has dropped to an all-time low with fewer than 2 children being born per woman.
Amounting to about 10 births per 1,000 women. Experts say that this is due to people marrying later and people worrying about the ability to have the money, health insurance, and other resources needed to raise children in a stable environment. In Arkansas, live births for mothers in the state has been steadily declining over the last 5 years.
Yeah, in 2016, there were 67 live births per family. That number has dropped by about 10 just a few years later.
Despite the trend both nationally and statewide, Mercy Health is reporting a record amount of babies delivered at its hospitals in 2025.
Yeah, but this year there were 96 more births from the year before at Mercy Fort Smith Hospital and 244 more in Rogers. Local medical leaders credit its commitment to maternal and infant care for recent record deliveries.
Mercy was founded by women, for women and children, and supporting healthy moms and healthy babies is really at the core of our mission. And so I'm just very proud to be a partner in the health and growth of this community, and really appreciate what Mercy is able to provide.
Well, Mercy officials say last year's C-section rates were well below the national average.
And we're seeing some pretty cool conditions here. Really, for much of this week, you've seen it, and it'll continue to be pretty chilly, kind of a yo-yo forecast here over the next few days. Later next week, we'll get a little bit warmer, but still staying in that kind of winter-like phase. We'll talk more about this cold weekend as well as pretty windy conditions ahead. That's just coming up in your full forecast.
And a brand new episode of Around the Corner. We explore ancient caves in Missouri, are on the hidden artifacts, and even crystal hunting. Time now, 7:38. Stay with us.
Five News This Morning is sponsored by Indigo Sky Casino, McKinnon Law Firm, and Tucker's Furniture.
Fridays in January, 6 to 10 p.m. Play for your chance to win your share of $75,000. Beautiful hotel suites, delicious chef-created entrees, live weekend entertainment. Indigo Sky Casino, Highway 60 west of Seneca, Missouri. IndigoSkyCasino.com. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort proudly unveils Shawano Steak and Spirits, a stunning new dining destination. Experience succulent, masterfully prepared steaks, chef-crafted signature entrees, only at Indigo Sky Casino.
I'm Lauren McKinnon, a local Social Security lawyer. I don't work for one of those national advocates businesses that aren't even law firms. I grew up here. I've handled thousands of Arkansas and Oklahoma Social Security cases. I know my judges and what they want to win a case. Using the latest technology, my team files your application for you online. We appeal your case online. You never have to sit in a packed waiting room. Call, email, text, or video chat Lauren McKinnon today. Always no win, no fee. I guarantee it.
It's Tucker's Furniture and Appliances' incredible Red Tag January clearance. When Tucker's has to make room, you will definitely save. Tucker's showroom is filled with Red Tag savings. Find hundreds of items marked down. Sofas and sectionals, Red Tagged. Dining sets and leather furniture, Red Tagged. Bedrooms and mattresses, Red Tagged. Plus, get interest-free financing for 24 months during the incredible Red Tag January clearance at Tucker's Furniture and Appliance.
5 News Around the Corner, sponsored by Ghirardelli Chocolate.
Arthur Browning discovered the cave 100 years ago, and this is what he found.
Oh my goodness, this is so neat. So on this week's episode of Around the Corner, We're about to go exploring here in Nome, Missouri.
Yeah, we're at Bluff Dwellers Cave, and as Ray mentioned, it's always 56 degrees, right? So it feels nice in here.
It feels good. Yeah, Ray and Andrew, they give tours, and they're going to take us on one today, and you're going to go with us. You guys ready?
Let's go.
Oh, let's go.
You know, my grandfather, they were a farmer, like a lot of people in this area, and noticed cold air coming out of a hole inside of the bluff. So they went in and discovered this cave.
Showed up with their pickaxes and lanterns and
They had
worked
to
their
dig
way through
their
that
way
little
in.
basketball-sized hole.
And some of the passageways that we'll walk through today were only like 18 inches when he went in. He was crawling.
Oh,
so that was filled back in with clay.
So this is where he came in. He came up here, looked down there. That passageway was full of rocks, so they walked in the water. And these are actually, you can barely see them, these are his footprints from 1925.
I thought growing up that everybody had a cave.
Yeah.
What a flex.
I didn't know how special it was until I was an adult. And then you go, wow, this is a pretty cool place.
Oh, cool. And I have some bongo drums over here. Now, I don't know if any of you follow Bigfoot, but have any of you ever wondered why he's Bigfoot, not Big Feet? That's because he got stuck in the clay here and he had to leave his left foot. And if you want to come over here, I'll show you his foot, toes, and toenails.
It does look like a foot.
Look at it.
Look at
Do
all
you
the
see
toes.
This duck has been there 90 plus years.
This rubber, so this is like an original rubber
Yes.
ducky.
Who put the duck there?
I love the rubber
There was a
ducky.
tour guide. You know, kids would come in, they would look at this water and they go, oh, duck pond.
Danny, what's the weather looking like today?
Well, I tell you what, folks, from this fancy thermometer, 56 degrees here today, and for the next 12 hours, it is also going to be 56 degrees. So a consistent forecast. I'd say it's pretty cloudy.
7-day forecast?
7-day forecast, 56 for a high, 56 for a low, 56 for a high, 56 for a low.
Eventually, those two are going to come together and form what we call a column. Now, some caves call them pillars, but since we're in the Ozarks, we all know a pillar is what you lay your head on.
So we ended up right here in the museum where we're going to see a lot of the ancient artifacts that they pulled out of the cave.
Yeah, and with that we saw a lot of really cool rocks, and so we need to find some for ourselves.
Yeah, so we're gonna go panning for our own rocks, and guys, I think this one's the
think
one.
there's some
Danny, that's the
crystals.
one I wanted.
Well, Joe, it's mine now.
We can share, guys.
Okay, that's the good one. Let's do it. We'll see you next time on
Around the corner.
Dibs on the crystals.
Hey, Tiffany. Well, the bag I picked and Joe inferred was the good one, because I got a little nice amethyst there, that purple rock, and it's a nice centerpiece on my table right now, but sometimes my cat Benny will mess with it, so it's just like, you know what, we're just gonna leave that to the side. Here's a live look along I-540 at South 4th Street in Fort Smith. You can see traffic moving along like it usually is on a Friday morning. You're seeing a little bit of cloud cover out there, but an overall sunny start to the day. But as we head later into the afternoon, some of those clouds will start to build in as the cold front's just off to our north. Before then, temperatures right now in the mid-30s in northwest Arkansas. Many of the River Valley in the low to mid-30s, but 29 there still in Clarksville. There's that cold front that really is moving through the area as we speak. It's going to continue to move southeast later today. And behind it, you're seeing a little bit of this kind of light green and light white. I'll remove this just to kind of show you that right here, kind of in Kansas and Missouri. Notice it's mainly moving to the east, though. So for those that kind of live in northern Benton and Carroll County, probably have the best chance of seeing it. But even that, it just looks to be flurries or sprinkles. There is another cold front, as you saw, that's basically kind of set up right here in Minnesota and the Dakotas. That will make its way here for us on Saturday. So with two cold fronts moving in, you can imagine colder and colder air will continue to funnel in for us today into tomorrow, and it'll all accumulate for Sunday, which will be some of the coldest air we've seen, at least during the morning hours. So for today, with the northwest wind, that'll be pretty gusty, up to 30 miles per hour later today. Highs will be in the mid to upper 40s in northwest Arkansas, lower 50s in the River Valley, and with more cloud cover building in, it'll be partly to mostly cloudy. For tonight, low temperatures in the mid to upper 20s. Keep the partly cloudy skies and maybe a few flurries. Again, just flurries, nothing will accumulate. Heading into the weekend, highs on Saturday, northwest Arkansas, mid-30s. Strong winds will continue, and maybe the wind chills probably staying in the 20s throughout the entire day just because winds will be pretty strong throughout the day. On Sunday, you can see a pretty chilly Sunday morning in the low teens. A little bit better there Sunday afternoon in the mid-40s. We'll see sunshine with that strong southwest wind. Pretty similar for the River Valley, highs in the low 40s. We'll keep the strong northwest wind. Not expecting any flurries for the River Valley. I think we're too far south. Then on Sunday, a cold morning in the teens. Highs near 50 in the afternoon with some sunshine and that southwest wind. What the wind chills actually look like here over the next few mornings. Here's tomorrow morning, Saturday, mid to upper teens in northwest Arkansas, low 20s in the River Valley, and again throughout the day, staying in the 20s and lower 30s. For Sunday morning, some pretty chilly air, single digits for much of northwest Arkansas, even some single digits in the River Valley there as well. And Monday for Martin Luther King Day, about the same as tomorrow, mid-teens, mid to upper teens in northwest Arkansas, and lower 20s in the River Valley. In terms of what we're going to expect for next week, more of the same. It will bounce back up a little bit, but still it's going to be right around normal, which for us, again, with highs in the upper 40s and low 50s. So basically where we have been. In terms of precip, though, we've been rather dry. It does look to be maybe a little bit more active for us later next week. So that's some good news because we're in moderate drought for much of the region, even some severe drought. So we desperately could take any precip we can get. So in terms of the next few days, again, pretty much a yo-yo here with highs bouncing back between the 30s and the 40s. Martin Luther King Day will be pretty cold, pretty similar to Saturday. Not as strong winds, but still pretty chilly, so make sure to bundle up that day. And even as we go into next week, still a little bit on the cooler side, but highs at least will be in the upper 40s and low 50s rather than the upper 30s and low 40s. For the River Valley, similar story. Again, highs bouncing back and forth between the 40s and 50s over the next few days, then into the low to mid 50s for the middle of next week. The best rain chance, at least in the 7 days, is going to be on Wednesday. Even that still looks pretty light, so we're hoping a better chance rise for us late next week as we head towards the end of January. All right, that's your latest weather forecast. Now we'll hand things over to Alex Stewart for your morning sports report.
When it comes to rivalries, losing streaks, poor performances, and records are like most New Year's resolutions right now. Forgotten. Which is why last night's Battle Line rivalry presented Kelsey Music's team with a great opportunity to pick up their first SEC win of the season. Arkansas had to cross enemy lines and head to Columbia for this skirmish in the first quarter. Well, quote the king of pop, bad. Really bad. The Hogs didn't score until about 5 minutes in and only had 4 points total. But things started to pick up in the second as Arkansas would go on a 12-0 run to eventually close to within 9. However, the Tigers would withstand that siege and answer with a vengeance, dropping 94 points on the Razorbacks last night, handing the Hogs their 6th loss in a row, 94-69, which drops them to 0-5 in SEC play. They now return home to face Georgia, that game next Thursday. The Bulldogs are also who the men's team will be facing next, though their game is tomorrow. And as we take a look at the summary of their game against South Carolina, I think that about says everything you need to know. You have to believe that they'll head into the Dogs' house with a ton of confidence, especially in these two guys right here. That would be the freshman duo of Darius Acuff and Malik Thomas. In the Hogs' 108-74 win over the Gamecocks, the 5-time defending SEC Freshman of the Week Acuff recorded his 3rd career double-double, 18 points, 13 assists. But it was Thomas who led the team in scoring, crossing 20 points for the 4th time this season with 21, going 8 of 9 from the field, including 5 of 5 from 3.
I don't think really much was working for me different. I take the same approach every single game, so it's just like I think I just seen one go in early, and from there I just felt like it was me. Every night I feel the same. I feel the same confident level. My confidence is through the roof, so I just seen one go down and felt great.
Hard to keep that man in the box, so we'll see if we can keep it rolling against Georgia, and if those are the Dogs that get beat by the Hogs on Saturday at 3 p.m. For now, though, that's going to be it for your sports. Have yourselves a great day.
All right, thanks for that, Alex. 7:50 this morning. Looking ahead to the weekend, there are several events happening across the region to honor the late Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. 5 News reporter Jacob Luthi joining us now with where they're happening. Hey, Jacob.
Hi, good morning. Chris Seawood with the NWA Martin Luther King Jr. Council says remembrance must be paired with action, emphasizing that honoring Dr. King's legacy requires efforts towards justice and equality, not just ceremonies, but continued commitment. The NWA MLK Council focuses on education and advocacy, providing scholarships, supporting youth through its Dream Keepers program, and preparing students for future success. The organization also stays engaged year-round through community outreach and research and conversations aimed at strengthening and uplifting the African-American community across Northwest Arkansas. And starting today at 6 in partnership with Crystal Bridges, the council is hosting the Beloved Community Festival featuring music, food, dance, celebrating NWA's diverse cultures. The event is free and open to the public. Tomorrow, January 17th, the council is holding its day of service, providing free haircuts, hot meals, coats, blankets, and more. Other events include an MLK Memorial Program at St. James Baptist Church in Fayetteville, a youth breakfast Monday at 8 at Theater Squared in Fayetteville, and the NWA MLK Freedom March Monday at 11, held indoors at Theater Squared. Registration is required but it will also be live streamed. Again, the council says honoring Dr. King goes beyond looking back, stressing that real tribute comes from ongoing action.
The arc of the moral universe, as Dr. King talked about, continues to point towards justice. It doesn't do it itself. There has to be deliberate action in doing that. And so we're glad and fortunate to play our part in doing that.
Seawood says fundraising supports their scholarship endowment, emphasizing that donations help provide educational opportunities and fund year-round programs. He adds this is one of their biggest fundraising events of the year. Jacob Luthi, 5 News.
All right, thank you, Jacob. Now, if you're planning your week, this may help. In Fort Smith, MLK Junior Day Parade will kick off 10 Monday morning there on North 7th Street and Garrison Avenue. And then a few miles up the road at UAFS, they'll have a free public breakfast Monday at 7 a.m. That'll be in the Reynolds Room there. And the university will also host a series of lectures throughout the week on campus in honor of the holiday.
Okay, we've been dreading this one. We're saying goodbye to Jacob.
Yes.
We have loved having him here on the mornings. Been at 5 News 2 years now.
Yeah.
And now you're moving on to other things.
I know. 2 years, moved here to the state, sight unseen. I'll never forget getting off the plane with my dad. And it snowed just before. And so we're getting off the plane. He goes, "Are you sure you want to do this?" I'm like, "Yeah." So the first time I set foot in the state, really in this whole region of the Ozarks and all of that, was for this job.
And what'd you think?
I've loved it.
Yeah.
It is beautiful. I do prefer the spring and the summer way more than I do the winter.
Me too.
I mean, they just can't get on board.
They really
He's a
can't.
Cali boy. He has an excuse.
We can't. And also, fun fact, I experienced my first ever snowfall as a human being. I waited 26 years of life, experienced it outside the Benton County Courthouse over there in Bentonville, waiting for a court case. I'll never forget it.
I love that.
I mean, and you think about it, it's like I've waited that long to do it, and it happened right here in Arkansas. It's so cool. So I will always, and it used to be like one of my fun facts, like, oh, I've never experienced snowfall. Happened right here.
Not anywhere. Like I say, I experienced it in Arkansas.
Yeah.
Well, we've enjoyed having you so much. You've meant so much to the morning show and here at 5 News. You're a great reporter, a great team player, and we're going to really miss you. So we just put together just a little montage of Jacob Luthi. Take a look.
5 News reporter Jacob Luthi joins us live from the school this morning.
You just gotta keep living, man. L-I-V-I-N.
Jacob, Danny, and Emily. We're all here.
Oh, I forgot to tell you. There's another version.
Go, Bigfoot! Go, Bigfoot!
I wanted to take that off earlier. Hey, in Fayetteville, in Springdale, in Rogers, in Greenland, in Fort Smith, Jacob Luthi, 5 News.
We're going to miss you so much.
I will never forget that, being on the horse. That was one of the
That
best.
was the best.
Awesome.
Hey, my favorite was when you put on the mascot. Yeah.
And we got really lucky with when all those schools that came out and supported for those rallies on Fridays. So much fun.
All right, well, this community's going to miss you. We're going to miss you. You can still come to work on Monday morning if you want.
Yeah, no one will turn you away, guaranteed.
I might be sleeping in.
Yeah, I don't blame you there.
Yeah, get some sleep for sure. All right, stay with us. We'll have more coming up.
This is 5 News.
Good morning and happy Friday. I'm 5 News meteorologist Danny Cassidy. Shaping up to be a pretty windy day and another cool day, even though this morning's been a little bit warmer than days past. Temperatures you notice as you're walking out the door anywhere between the low to mid 30s. Seeing some sunshine out there, but also a good deck of clouds, especially in the River Valley. And as we head later into the day today, a cold front is sweeping through as we speak. And that's going to drive up the winds later this afternoon, gusting to as high as 30 miles per hour. That'll keep us in the mid to upper 40s for highs in northwest Arkansas, lower 50s in the River Valley. Maybe could see a few sprinkles or flurries. That's really about it. Otherwise, skies will be partly to mostly cloudy. For tonight, low temperatures down to more seasonal conditions in the mid to upper 20s. We'll see some, again, flurry chances, mainly in northwest Arkansas. Also some partly cloudy skies and a northwest wind, which not super strong, but could be a little bit on the breezier side, up to 15 miles per hour. Heading into the weekend for us tomorrow, we're going to see a mostly cloudy sky, maybe a few flurries for northwest Arkansas, but highs in the mid-30s. And with a strong northwest wind, that'll keep wind chills throughout the day, as high as maybe the 20s. Sunday, a little bit more with highs in the mid-40s, but lows on Sunday morning will be pretty chilly in the teens. Similar story for the River Valley. Highs in the low 40s for tomorrow, have a strong northwest wind. Wind chills, the peak wind chills probably in the lower 30s. Sunday, a pretty chilly morning, highs near 50 with some sunshine and a little bit of a southwest wind. So it's going to be a pretty cold weekend ahead, so make sure to bundle up. And we'll talk more about your weekend forecast over on 5 News Plus, which again, as always, is free to watch and free to download on your smart TV and your smartphone. We'll talk about the cold weekend, that flurries chance, as well as maybe we could see a little bit of a better rain chance here coming up later next week. And it's over on 5 News Plus.
Five News This Morning starts now.
Well, hey, good morning and happy Friday. Thank you so much for joining us here on 5 News this morning, 8 a.m. Hopefully you're off to a good start. Getting the coffee going. One more day. You can do it. Power through.
Yeah, and you know, it's MLK Day on Monday, so it could be a long weekend for a lot of folks. Which is good.
true.
So you can't be mad about today.
Yes.
We get to honor, celebrate, and we get an extra day.
Yes, we get an extra day, and although when we do celebrate this extra day, it is going to be a pretty chilly one, so make sure to have the layers ready.
Well, a lot of the events are planned for this weekend for MLK, so what's that looking like?
If it's for tomorrow, going to be pretty cold. Sunday, pretty chilly. Monday, pretty chilly.
So just pull the winter stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say, had the layers ready. We'll show you what's going on right now across the region. Not too bad this morning. It is a little bit cold, though. Temperatures you can see for the most part in the low to mid-30s. Seeing some sunshine, but also a good deck of clouds moving in. I think later today we'll have more of a partly to mostly cloudy sky, and winds will also pick up later today as well. But for now, things are okay out there. You can see low to mid-30s across northwest Arkansas, upper 20s and lower 30s for much of the River Valley, although mid to upper 30s there in Poto and Waldron. You compare it to this time yesterday, it is a noticeable bump up, about 10 to 15 degrees warmer, but still 30s and even some upper 20s. They're still pretty cool. We were just in the teens and low 20s yesterday. As we head through the rest of the day today, winds are pretty light right now, only about 5 miles per hour. But once we get to about noon onward, those winds could be pretty strong, about 10 to 20, gusts as high as 30. It'll be out of the northwest, which will push in some of that cooler air. So if you're heading out to the bus stop here, we're seeing mostly clear, mostly sunny skies. A few clouds out there, though. Temperatures mainly in the 30s. By recess, though, clouds continue to push in. Breezy conditions pick up as well. Temperatures only getting into the 40s, and then I think we'll stay in the 40s for the most part as you're heading home. Maybe some lower 50s in the River Valley, but it will be pretty windy with those gusts up to 30 miles per hour. Now, with this strong northwest wind, it's cold enough to maybe see some snow, but really we're just going to see some flurries. That's all we're going to see, and that'll mainly be in northwest Arkansas. Those in the River Valley, I think it just won't reach far enough south. It's going to stay pretty dry over the next week or so, maybe a light rain chance on Wednesday, but the drought conditions that we've been experiencing for much of this winter will unfortunately continue for us really over the next week or so. So a cold weekend's ahead. That could be windy at times, and again, those flurries chances are there, but overall looks pretty dry and pretty chilly. So we'll talk more about your weekend forecast here and get you ready for the cold coming up in your full forecast. For now, I'll give you a live look at traffic on this Friday morning. Take a live look along I-49 at Winnaker Parkway in the Rogers area. Notice the northbound traffic moving pretty slow there, moving towards Rogers, but again, this is kind of typical morning commute traffic. I haven't seen any accidents so far out there, just, pretty slow as it can be at times. We'll have your full forecast coming up in about 10 minutes. Joe and Tiffany.
All right, thank you for that, Danny. 8:02 today, a new lawsuit has been filed against a former youth pastor and a Bentonville church alleging negligence in actions relating to child abuse sex crimes. Keenan Horde was a former youth pastor at First Baptist Church in Bentonville. He was convicted of 13 counts of sexual assault 3 years ago. He's now serving a 60-year sentence. The lawsuit claims he was given, quote, unfettered access to minors during his time as pastor, and that the church should have known it and reported it. You can find more details on the case at 5newsonline.com. Well, new information in the ongoing legal fight between poultry companies and the state of Oklahoma.
A federal judge ruled companies accused of polluting the Illinois watershed with fertilizer. They say that they must pay penalties, commit to cleaning up the watershed, and fund a team to oversee it. The ruling accused the poultry companies of knowing their growers were using fertilizer that caused the pollution.
Yeah, farmers are now worried that after Tyson Foods said it would likely not renew contracts with growers within that watershed. Some of those farmers met with state Oklahoma leaders this week to talk about this long-running lawsuit.
5 News reporter Laura Castleman tells us what both sides had to say.
Oklahoma farmers are worried about a lawsuit that's been ongoing for over 20 years, one that focuses on water contamination in the Illinois River watershed. Oklahoma Attorney General Gentner Drummond is negotiating a settlement in this lawsuit. He went to Westville Thursday to speak with the people who will be directly affected.
I'm not quitting. I'm not dismissing. I'm going to find a path that's fair and reasonable to make sure these people continue to have family farms.
But growers and producers in the area say the lawsuit's effects will trickle down to them.
They trust us to take care of their chickens. They pay us to raise their chickens, and at the end of the day, we're the ones on the line, not the company.
We're following the laws and doing everything that the state has asked us to do as far as keeping the phosphorus levels low.
But they're still worried about their futures.
These are family-owned farms. These are not corporate-owned farms. They are owned by hardworking families like mine. And we are the ones at the end of the day who are holding the debt.
For now, farmers say they're waiting, hoping state leaders will deliver a fair solution that protects both their future and the land they care for.
The Oklahoma Attorney General says he's working on a fair solution, but families want answers soon. In Westville, covering news where you live, Laura Castleman, 5 News.
All right, thanks for that, Laura. Well, the Washington County Quorum Court unanimously passed a resolution supporting growers and urging a return to negotiations.
Benton County passed a similar resolution last month.
Well, this weekend, events honoring the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. are taking place across our area with the goal of bringing communities together.
5 News reporter Jacob Luthi is joining us now with a look at what's planned. And Jacob, some of these events already kicking off today.
Yeah, good morning to you both. That's absolutely right. The Northwest Arkansas Martin Luther King Jr. Council says they're in their 30th year of fostering education, advocacy, and research, as well as helping keep the legacy and life of the Reverend alive. Now, the council also works to provide scholarships, supporting youth through its Dreamkeepers program, and preparing students for future success. The organization also stays engaged year-round through community outreach, research, and conversations. And this weekend, the council is putting on multiple events that they invite the entire community to. Starting today at 6 in partnership with Crystal Bridges, the council is putting on their beloved community festival, which will feature music, food, dance, and more from the cultures that make NWA great. The event is free to the public. Tomorrow, January 17th, the group is also hosting its annual day of service, coming together to provide the community with free support and resources, including haircuts, hot meals, coats, and blankets. And their other events include an MLK Memorial Program at St. James Baptist Church in Fayetteville, a youth breakfast starting at 8 on Monday at Theater Squared in Fayetteville, and the NWA MLK Freedom March is being held indoors this year at Theater Squared on Monday at 11. Registration for that event is required, but it will be live streamed. And again, the council is inviting everyone to come out.
Most of our events, with the exception of the Community Service Day, will be held indoors. So the weather is accounted for, but we'd love to see the community, no matter who you are or whatever your background, we want to see you. Again, this is the beloved community, so it's a space where everybody belongs.
Now, the council calls this weekend a recommitment weekend. More on that and the work that they do throughout the year coming up. Jacob Luthi, 5 News.
All right, thank you for that, Jacob. Well, in Fort Smith, the MLK Jr. Day Parade will kick off at 10 Monday morning at North 7th Street in Garrison. A few miles down the road there at UAFS on Grand, they'll hold a free public breakfast at 7 a.m. Monday as well. The university also hosting a series of lectures throughout the week on campus in honor of the holiday. Well, coming up in the Daily Brew, is your dog reading your thoughts? Well, researchers say yes, and they have the proof.
Plus, Progresso is turning soups into hard candy. We'll tell you
one.
what's trending. Yeah, tomato soup candy.
Oh,
but
tomato
first,
soup?
yeah, it sounds like a gross.
Potato
You get
soup.
grilled cheese too.
Maybe.
A live look out in Poto. The time now 8:08. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
5 News This Morning is sponsored by Indigo Sky Casino, McKinnon Law Firm, and Tucker's Furniture.
Fridays in January, 6 to 10 p.m. Play for your chance to win your share of $75,000. Beautiful hotel suites, delicious chef-created entrees, live weekend entertainment. Indigo Sky Casino, Highway 60 west of Seneca, Missouri. IndigoSkyCasino.com. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort proudly unveils Shawano Steak and Spirits, a stunning new dining destination. Experience succulent, masterfully prepared steaks, chef-crafted signature entrees, only at Indigo Sky Casino.
I'm Laura McKinnon, a local Social Security lawyer. I don't work for one of those national advocates businesses that aren't even law firms. I grew up here. I've handled thousands of Arkansas and Oklahoma Social Security cases. I know my judges and what they want to win a case. Using the latest technology, my team files your application for you online. We appeal your case online. You never have to sit in a packed waiting room. Call, email, text, or video chat Laura McKinnon today. Always no win, no fee. I guarantee it.
It's Tucker's Furniture and Appliances' incredible Red Tag January clearance. When Tucker's has to make room, you will definitely save. Tucker's showroom is filled with Red Tag savings. Find hundreds of items marked down. Sofas and sectionals, Red Tagged. Dining sets and leather furniture, Red Tagged. Bedrooms and mattresses, Red Tagged. Plus, get interest-free financing for 24 months during the incredible Red Tag January clearance at Tucker's Furniture and Appliance.
Well, welcome back. New information this morning from the Centers for Disease Control. 171 new measles cases have been reported so far this year and across 9 states. Now, one state seeing rapid spread is South Carolina, where health officials there confirm over 100 new cases since last Friday, bringing their statewide total to 434.
What people don't realize is that initial infection with measles may not be that severe, but it wipes out the kid's immune system, immune memory, and it can take a couple years to build back.
Gotcha.
So it leaves the infant or the child susceptible to infections like pneumonia, diarrheal illness, and so on. And that's actually half of the deaths related to measles.
Well, the CDC is recommending children receive the first dose of the measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine between the ages of 12 to 15 months, and that second dose between 4 and 6 years of age. We're also watching flu numbers rise across the country, and here in Arkansas, many are referring to this year's strain of the flu as superflu. The ADH saying more than 650 Arkansans have been hospitalized with flu-related illness so far. More than 20 deaths reported. Officials also say the best way to reduce severe illness is vaccination, but they want to be clear about what vaccines do.
There may be some confusion in terms of, if I get the flu shot, then I won't get the flu. That's not necessarily true, right? What it will protect you against, instead of, having symptoms that are so severe that you have to go be admitted into the hospital, you may deal with more milder symptoms.
Doctors say that flu activity typically peaks between late December and February, so the season is not over just yet. Arkansas state legislators grilled public health officials over how Medicaid patients get dental care. They say they want to know why rules to expand services to people with special needs aren't in place yet, even though they passed laws last year to make it happen. Now, these acts triggered the sharpest debate, both of the acts aiming to increase the payments. Some dentists say that low reimbursement rates already push many dentists to turn Medicaid patients away, especially those with special needs.
So it's hard to look at families that have waited years to get dental care for their children or family members that have special health care needs. So the frustration is just not being able to be that answer to them right away. We're ready to start doing this care now.
Well, committee members passed a motion ordering DHS to keep reporting its progress. In a statement in part, DHS says it is looking forward to working with Medicaid officials.
We'll take a live look at traffic this morning. That is not traffic here. Well, let me switch the screen here. Sometimes I think I'm in the right show, and then it happens that I'm not in the right show, and then I mess everything up, and then the show doesn't look very good. So my apologies, guys. But you're seeing in northwest Arkansas, we're going to see temperatures rise into the low to mid 40s later this morning. But you notice it's not rising very much. And that's going to lead us to, or the reason being is because we're going to be a little bit windy for us today. There's traffic. Sorry, guys. Here's a live look along I-540 at Highway 64. They're kind of near the Van Buren, Fort Smith area. You can see some blue sky. There's some cloud cover out there. What I was alluding to is that we're going to see some strong winds start to pick up later this afternoon. Right now, we're seeing temperatures in the mid-30s in northwest Arkansas, some low 20s or upper 20s, along I-40. Then south of I-40 there, roughly the mid-60s. Some cloud covers building in due to a cold front that is just now moving through the region as we speak and will continue to move off to the southwest later today, or southeast, later today. Behind it is a second cold front that's going to move through on Saturday, so we're kind of getting 2 shots of some cold air moving in. So this is going to reinforce some of the coldest air of the season we've seen so far come Sunday morning. Now, with this cold front comes some pretty strong winds. You're seeing those kind of arrows move through, and also you're seeing a little bit of some kind of light white and green. We maybe could see some flurries or sprinkles, especially in northwest Arkansas, but that's really about it. Otherwise, the story is going to be some cloud cover building in here like you're seeing across the region, especially there in Poto as well as in Fort Smith, along with some strong northwest winds gusting up to 30 miles per hour. That'll keep highs a little bit on the cooler side in the mid-40s, mid to upper 40s in northwest Arkansas. lower 50s in the River Valley with partly to mostly cloudy skies. For tonight, low temperatures in the mid-20s in northwest Arkansas, upper 20s in the River Valley. We'll keep the flurries chance as well as partly cloudy skies and a little bit of a northwest breeze at times at the 15. Then for the weekend is looking rather cold. So for Saturday, highs in the mid-30s for northwest Arkansas, but with the strong northwest wind chills probably won't escape the 20s, even during the peak heating of the day. Sunday morning, very cold, lows in the low teens. Then Sunday, during the day, mid-40s for highs with some sunshine and a little bit of a southwest breeze. For the River Valley, highs in the low 40s, partly to mostly cloudy skies. We'll keep that northwest wind, so wind chills will probably be at best the low 30s. Then after a cold Sunday morning with lows in the mid-teens, highs near 50, some sunshine, and that southwest gust. What the wind chills look like specifically for us starting Saturday morning, mid to upper teens in northwest Arkansas, some lower 20s in the River Valley. Then comes Sunday morning, some of the coldest air of the season, single digits for much of especially the eastern half of the area and the northern half, and some low to mid-teens elsewhere, but still very cold. Then for MLK Day, Monday morning, wind chills yet again in the mid to upper teens in northwest Arkansas, low 20s in the River Valley, and then we'll see pretty similar conditions for Monday into Tuesday. So pretty typical winter weather, but something that we have not seen consistently up until now. It looks like that'll continue through the end of next week as well. You see here Arkansas and Oklahoma are in the gray, which might be like, well, that's normal. But again, normal is still pretty chilly for this time of year, upper 40s and low 50s for highs, mid to upper 20s for those lows. Looks like that'll continue through end of next week. Then as we head into later next week, there is a little bit of a heightened chance of maybe some more active weather, meaning more rain chances, maybe some snow if it can get cold enough. But for now, the next 7 days look to be pretty dry. It's just some flurries here over Friday or today and Saturday, and then maybe a rain chance on Wednesday. But you notice how highs are really kind of bumping up and down. Kind of looks like a yo-yo or like an M, so to speak. So eventually later next week, we are going to see highs a little bit warm in the upper 40s and lower 50s. And we'll see some windy conditions as well today and tomorrow, as well as Tuesday and Wednesday. As it's kind of usual in winter, you get some windy days. We have warmer and colder air kind of clashing with each other. For the River Valley, highs bouncing between the 40s and 50s over the next few days. It does warm up a little bit nicely for us on Wednesday. It cools off for Thursday, and it does look a little bit chillier for next weekend as well. So we really just can't avoid the cold weekends here as we head through the rest of January.
Welcome to the Daily Brew. In case you forgot, we're just about, what, a month away from the Super Bowl?
Under now,
Yeah,
right?
just a little less, I
like
think.
3 weeks?
Okay.
Wild.
Well, fans around the world, they're hyped up for the celebration and the halftime show. Latin music star Bad Bunny headlining the stage. Probably no surprise there, right? Like,
I'm pretty sure he's the biggest name in music. Didn't we do a story not too long ago that he topped Taylor Swift this last year?
Yeah, I think for the most streamed artist.
For the most streamed artist.
Or maybe she overtook him. Either
It's
way.
always between the two, like the
Yes.
last 5 years.
Yes.
okay, but if you're hoping to be a part of the show, you may need more than good vibes. You may need a few extra inches, okay? Height requirements for halftime roles are going viral, with some positions asking applicants to stand 5'7" to over 6 feet tall, leaving plenty of fans joking that their genetics ended the dream early.
Okay, it is crazy. I didn't realize that this was a thing that they required people to be certain heights until my cousin is a professional dancer in LA. And he, I remember he had a tryout for Justin Bieber, and he couldn't, they wouldn't, like, he didn't make it past like the first, he made it to like the final round, but they cut him because he would have been taller than Justin. And the dancers couldn't be taller than Justin because it made him look short. And so a lot of artists, like, this is a thing. Like, they want people to be the same height or shorter than them, so they'll look taller, like if it's a guy especially.
Yeah.
And so I wonder maybe, like, why this height for Bad Bunny? Like, what's the reasoning behind that?
I guess why the baseline of 5'7", though?
Maybe he is tall, and so you can't be taller than him, but you don't want to look like short. Maybe
yeah, so
that's
you got to
it.
be a certain height, high enough.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Who knows?
Well, I'm right at 6'1", so I'm right at that upper echelon, so I can try out.
Okay.
Just duck.
I'd watch that.
Yeah, you do not want. Yeah, you
I
would.
I want to go up there with Bad Bunny.
I
Come
would
on
not
now.
want to be. I would say maybe have to get a few drinks in me, then maybe we'll.
Just Sprite,
gosh.
right?
Okay, have you ever felt like your dog can read your mind? Well, you might be right. A new study from Duke University is saying that dogs can pick up on our thoughts, faces, feelings without saying a word.
I feel like that is the case, you know, because I feel like when you're having a bad day, they can sense it. Maybe they chill out or they're trying to be extra energetic to make you happier.
I think so. They're very emotional creatures, but this goes a little bit further, saying even puppies that are just a few months old are watching our every move, following gazes, and looking for those clues. They've evolved to just understand us better.
I mean, this does make sense because I feel like pets are with you just as much as your family, or sometimes even more, because you're not always on the same schedule as your family, but the dog's always home when you are.
You know how they always say that like pigs are really smart, and you see those trained pigs that people have. I've always wanted to like get one just to see if like
The miniature ones?
Yeah, to see if they really are that smart.
So when the miniature ones were a big deal, there was a scam where people would buy
And
these.
pets should never be a fad.
And they were these baby pigs, they thought, and then they got big.
They got so big, yeah.
And people thought they bought a miniature pig to have as a pet, and then they had this huge one, and they were having to so sad because they got attached by having to donate them to farms and stuff so they could live the life that they needed to live.
Yeah, because the large animals are hard to care for. You
And,
have to have certain things for them.
Yeah, for sure. It's hard to have a 300-pound pig in a home,
Yeah, I love that like people were looking at other animals like pigs as pets was great, but just knowing it was a trend, I'm glad it's over. Okay, trending all over social media though, it's definitely turning heads. Progresso is having a little fun for National Soup Month.
I do love soup, but I don't know about it being in the form of hard candy.
Yeah, I'm not
Called
so
soup drops.
Soup drops. Is it like a throat drop at the same time? Like if I was sick, could I have a throat drop chicken noodle soup?
Yeah, and it tastes just like what? The beef pot roast, the chicken noodle, the tomato basil.
Yeah, no thanks.
I can't get on board with this one. It's kind of, I would try it. I like all those soups, but I think it would just weird me out.
Okay, so is it like a cough drop or is it just candy?
No, it's just candy.
Hard
I think if it was a cough
Oh.
drop and it tastes like chicken noodle soup, it'd be better.
Yeah, because I feel like it'd soothe my throat.
It would, and you could eat chicken noodle soup with it. Usually when you have a cough drop, the taste after kind of
Yeah.
messes a lot of things up. I don't know.
I do love that they put it in a can. They put it true to style, but so what was it? Tomato basil, you said?
The beef pot roast.
That one
and
sounds the
chicken
grossest
noodle.
to me. Ugh.
I don't know, because when you have candy, you just expect that explosion of sweetness,
Yeah.
not a tomato, garlic, roasted thing.
I'm one of those people that's really weird about things being sweet that I feel like should be salty, or salty that should be sweet. Like I won't eat them. I'm
Yeah?
trying to think of a good example here.
I don't know.
Give me a weird food that people like, and I can tell you. That's sweet, but you feel like it should be salty.
Well, okay, so I like something that's sweet and salty. I love an apple pie with the crust. The crust is a little salty, and then ice cream, and the hot and
Well,
cold
that's
too.
different. That's different. I feel like
But you're
desserts are
talking
different.
about just regular foods.
Yeah,
Tiffany,
I can't.
you're trying to get us to solve the Da
Okay,
Vinci
okay,
Code over
like
here.
I know. I'm
like sweet potatoes.
It's 8:20 in the
Okay.
morning.
Sweet potatoes.
Okay.
I know everyone thinks that they should be sweet, but for some reason, because they're a potato, I'm really weird and
I
I'll
don't think they're sweet either.
yeah, sweet potato fries. I eat them with ketchup, and I put pepper in the ketchup.
Put a little bit of caramel and bacon on them.
Oh?
But then they're sweet.
Yeah.
That's
the
what I'm
point.
saying.
That's the
I'm
point.
weird. I don't want them to be sweet.
Okay.
I don't know.
Tiffany, I think you've got an existential crisis
I
going
might.
on.
I might, guys.
That's
But
too much of a problem to
I do
solve
like
in
dipping
one
a
day.
fry in a Frosty.
I think that everyone likes that.
Yeah.
Joe?
Joe doesn't.
What's not to like? I like it.
Okay.
Ish.
Ish.
This is 5 News.
A new lawsuit has been filed against a former youth pastor and a Bentonville church alleging negligence in actions related to child abuse sex crimes. Keenan Horde was a former youth pastor at First Baptist Church in Bentonville. He was convicted of 13 counts of sexual assault 3 years ago and is now serving a 60-year sentence. And in just about hours from now, election officials in Sebastian County are certifying the ballots from the District 26 Republican primary. In a runoff, Wade Dunn and Brad Simon will face off on February 3rd after neither received a majority of votes earlier this month. County elections coordinator saying that certification process will include audits, recounts, and special programming. Meanwhile, Martin Luther King Jr. Day is on Monday. Some events this weekend that you can attend. The NWA MLK Council is hosting a community festival at Crystal Bridges. That'll be today, which is a day of service in Fayetteville, and then tomorrow, a Freedom March at Theater Squared on Monday. Now, if we go to some of these events this weekend, Danny, we're going to need to bundle up.
Yes, have the layers ready, and today is going to kind of be a continuation of some pretty cold weather we've seen really over the past week or so. We're waking up this morning to a little bit more cloud cover, especially in the River Valley, seen there at Poto and Fort Smith. A little bit there, a little less in Ozark, I should say, but again, really across the region, we're starting to see some cloud cover build in as a cold front's pushing through as we speak. And eventually later this afternoon, winds are going to pick up, gusting up to 30. It's going to keep highs around where we've been the past few days in the mid to upper 40s in northwest Arkansas, low 50s in the River Valley. Could maybe see a few sprinkles and flurries, but that's about it. Nothing's actually going to stick to the ground. For tonight, low temperatures in the mid to upper 20s. We'll see that flurry chance continue, as well as partly cloudy skies and a little bit of a northwest wind at about 5 to 15. Then for the weekend, Saturday looking pretty cold throughout the day. Highs only in the mid 30s in northwest Arkansas, maybe some flurries, and with a strong northwest wind again, could maybe see wind chills only as high as the 20s. Then for Sunday morning, pretty chilly, lows in the teens, a little bit of a southwest breeze, but highs are warmer in the mid 40s with some sunshine. For the River Valley, similar story, partly to mostly cloudy skies, strong northwest wind for Saturday, highs only in the low 40s, but wind chills probably only peaking in the low 30s. Then after a cold Sunday morning with lows in the teens, highs near 50 on Sunday, some sunshine, and a little bit of a southwest breeze, gusting up to 25. So again, if you're headed out any time this weekend, even into early next week, it looks pretty chilly. Make sure to bundle up. As we head into the weekend, we'll talk more about that weekend forecast over on 5 News Plus, which again, as always, is free to watch, free to stream, free to download, free, I guess. I don't know how else to say that, but it is over on the smart TV apps as well as the mobile phone apps. We'll see you over there on 5 News Plus from every Monday through Friday, 7 to 9, covering your latest news and weather.
5 News This Morning starts now.
Well, hello there. Good morning. Rise and shine, ready to get the day started because it is Friday.
Yes, it is. And for a lot of you, you just got to make it through one day and then maybe you get that 3-day weekend because of MLK Day on Monday. And so a lot of events going on this weekend. And with that, a lot of people want to know what the weather is going to look like. Danny, we are putting the pressure on you this morning. This is a big story because there's a lot of events outside as well this weekend.
So Joe has now handed the reins from putting the pressure on me to you.
Now it's to you.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty cold. We're not going to see any snow, maybe some flurries. Sorry, Joe. Sorry to myself. I wore the snowman tie today. Didn't really do anything, but it certainly is going to bring in some colder air. And that colder air is going to lead to a pretty chilly weekend, really throughout the weekend. There's not really going to be a warm stretch. So we'll show you what's going on first for today because it is still going to be pretty cool today. 34 degrees in Rogers. This is a live look along I-49 atop Mercy Hospital near exit 82. You notice the traffic's moving pretty smoothly, or slowly, I should say, northbound there in Rogers. There's no accident I can see as of now, but it's just, it's this time of day when people are heading northbound, probably towards Walmart and Bentonville. But again, things are pretty slow here northbound along I-49 near the AMP and near Mercy Hospital. 34 degrees, a very light wind, but there is a little bit of wind at times that will pick up later today, especially during the afternoon. That's going to reinforce that cold air. 36 in Poto, a lot more cloud cover in Poto, a lot more of a partly to mostly cloudy sky really throughout the day today. It's going to keep temperatures on the cooler side along with the northwest wind. Other temperatures across the region, for the most part, the low to mid-30s, 27 there in Clarksville, and it's overall a bump from yesterday, anywhere between, let's say, 10 to as high as 15 degrees in some spots, but really the big story for today is going to be those winds that will be picking up later today, especially during the afternoon hours. They'll be out of the northwest at about 10 to 20, gusts as high as 30, and we'll keep those northwest winds overnight, meaning that cold air will kind of continue to stay in place through really not only today, but through the weekend. So temperatures you're going to notice aren't going to rise very much over the next few hours or so, maybe getting into the upper 40s for parts of northwest Arkansas. We'll have a partly to mostly cloudy sky throughout, and we'll keep those partly to mostly cloudy skies through the overnight hours. For the River Valley, same story. Maybe getting to the low 50s for many areas, but still not really rising much from this morning. Seeing some clouds through much of the area, and overall a partly cloudy day. Now with that, we'd really hope for some rain. Even some snow would help with the drought. Unfortunately, again, besides those flurries for today or tomorrow, not looking like much. Maybe a little bit of a rain chance on Wednesday, but another dry stretch looks to be upcoming. So besides it being dry with maybe some flurries, it's going to be a chilly weekend ahead and very windy at times, especially today, tomorrow, even Sunday at times could be a little bit breezy. So we'll talk about the winds, the cold, and your overall weekend forecast coming up in just a little bit. For now, I'll give you a live look at traffic on it this Friday morning. So here's a little bit of a look farther north from that I-49 spot in Rogers at New Hope Road, closer to exit 83. And again, pretty slow there. Again, it says southbound, but we're looking at the northbound lane there on the left side of your screen. So again, if you're still headed out or going to head out, just be mindful that things are, well, usual morning commute things. With your full forecast coming up in about 10 minutes. Joe and Tiffany.
All right, thanks for that, Danny. With these colder temperatures, warming shelters in Fayetteville, only hours away from opening, the city activating an extreme weather response for tomorrow to ensure that community members may have access to safe, warm shelter. Meals will be provided at Potter's House on College Avenue.
You can learn more about the warming shelter and send the information to someone that you think may need it. Just text the word WARM to 479-785-5000 and we'll send you that information.
Well, Martin Luther King Jr. Day is on Monday, but starting today, our local communities are already honoring his legacy.
King, the face of the civil rights movement, won the Nobel Peace Prize and spoke out against the Vietnam War before his assassination in 1968.
5 News reporter Jacob Luthi joining us now where these local celebrations will unfold. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Chris Seawood with the NWA Martin Luther King Jr. Council says remembrance must be paired with action, emphasizing that honoring Dr. King's legacy requires efforts towards justice and equality, not just ceremonies, but continued commitment. Now, the NWA MLK Council focuses on education and advocacy, providing scholarships, supporting youth through its Dream Keepers program, and preparing students for future success. The organization also stays engaged year-round through community outreach, research, and conversations aimed at strengthening and uplifting the African-American community across Northwest Arkansas. Now, starting today at 6 in partnership with Crystal Bridges, the council is hosting the Beloved Community Festival, featuring music, food, and dance, celebrating NWA's diverse cultures. The event is free and open to the public. Tomorrow, January 17th, the council is holding its day of service, providing free haircuts, hot meals, housing resources, coats, blankets, and more to the community. Other events include an MLK Memorial Program at St. James Baptist Church in Fayetteville, a youth breakfast Monday at 8 a.m. at Theater Squared, and the NWA MLK Freedom March Monday at 11. That's going to be held indoors at Theater Squared. Registration is required for that event, but it will be live streamed. Again, the council says honoring Dr. King goes beyond looking back, stressing that real tribute comes from ongoing action.
The arc of the moral universe, as Dr. King talked about, continues to point towards justice. It doesn't do it itself. There has to be deliberate action in doing that. And so we're glad and fortunate to play our part in doing that.
Now, Seawood said fundraising supports their scholarship endowment, emphasizing that donations help provide educational opportunities and fund year-round programs. He adds this is one of their biggest fundraising events of the year. Jacob Luthi, 5 News.
Well, did you wake up this morning thinking maybe there's something new on the horizon? If so, you're right, and it's big.
Yep, Harry Styles, this guy right here, releasing his long-awaited 4th studio album, which will be the first one released since his former One Direction bandmate Liam Payne passed away back in 2024. And it's called, or he's titling it, Kiss All the Time, Disco Occasionally.
And it's looking to be released March 6th. Now, this is a big deal. Your daughter, huge Harry Styles fan.
In caps yesterday, text message, guess what, Mom? Harry Styles' new album.
Guess what, Mom? You're buying more concert tickets like the last time and some cow print pants.
I already went through that. I'm not doing it again.
Well, on Instagram Styles, he shared the cover artwork. This is it right here. It features the 31-year-old artist in a t-shirt, jeans at night. I feel like this is a different look for him.
It is,
He's
yeah.
usually, he's got on the bright colors and the patterns. And so this is like a chill version of Harry Styles, I feel like.
I like that. Now, this project will contain 12 tracks. It is now available for pre-order. So I wonder if there's a standby to get in the queue to pre-order.
It's gonna be crazy. Everything's a pre-order these days. This next story, though, I'm very excited about.
Okay, take it away.
Pitbull, he's announced a new tour, and he's coming right here to the AMP. He said, USA, I'm back, and I can't wait.
Has he not played at the AMP before?
He
Okay,
has.
I thought so.
It was 2021, I believe, and me and my friends went. That was one of the most fun concerts that I have
be energetic.
ever been to.
Yeah.
So much energy. Every song that he has is a hit.
Yeah.
And so you know more songs than you think by Pitbull. And then you're just dancing the whole time because it is so energetic.
Well, this year, 35 city tour.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty big. That's a lot.
The tickets for here, they go on sale January 30th, but the concert isn't until, I think it's September 22nd. I already had a few friends text me this morning who went with me in 2021. None of them live here now. They're in Nashville, Chicago. They all texted. They said, we're flying in. We're coming back.
Oh, that'll be fun. Well, the tickets will go on sale 10 a.m. Friday, January the 30th. Ranging anywhere between $70 to $612.
They've gone up.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Oh, well, it's Pitbull, right?
Yeah.
We'll go for the
That's
70.
it.
We'll go for the 70.
Yeah, cheap seats.
Yeah, coming up after the break, in a brand new episode of Around the Corner, we explore caves in Missouri, from hidden artifacts to hands-on crystal hunting. That's up next.
Plus, we're saying goodbye to Jacob Luthi. It's his last day here at 5 News. On 5 News this morning, we're going to, have him here, ask him what's next, and tell him how much we're going to miss him. Stay with us.
Hey, our team tests products every single day. We only show you the ones that really do the job well. This is the Tire Hero. This is a little portable, compact tire inflator, air inflator. It is so easy to use. The box shows up at your house, and just look at this. You just attach the hose to the device and you're in business. You just turn it on. Ours came with some battery charge already on it, so that was pretty great. And you're ready to inflate your tires in just minutes. The great thing about this, not only does it inflate your tire, it'll save you so much money in the long run. We've all been there where we've had, a little piece of glass or a nail completely derail your day. You'll have hundreds of dollars with a tow truck company. You don't have to deal with that. This will fit right in your glove box. like this.
It really is that compact, and you can throw it in your bag because it will charge your other devices and you can recharge it in the car.
Super versatile with all of these nozzles, and it takes the guesswork out of it for you. If you look at your screen, that little icon, that's your car. You have your motorcycle, bicycle, or ball. Takes the guesswork out of it with that PSI. We have some great savings. It is typically $69.99. We're down to a 20% savings at $55.99. Just scan that QR code or go to shoptvdeals.com.
Five News This Morning is sponsored by Indigo Sky Casino, McKinnon Law Firm, and Tucker's Furniture.
Fridays in January, 6 to 10 p.m. Play for your chance to win your share of $75,000. Beautiful hotel suites, delicious chef-created entrees, live weekend entertainment. Indigo Sky Casino, Highway 60 west of Seneca, Missouri. IndigoSkyCasino.com. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort proudly unveils Shawano Steak and Spirits, a stunning new dining destination. Experience succulent, masterfully prepared steaks, chef-crafted signature entrees, only at Indigo Sky Casino.
I'm Lauren McKinnon, a local Social Security lawyer. I don't work for one of those national advocates businesses that aren't even law firms. I grew up here. I've handled thousands of Arkansas and Oklahoma Social Security cases. I know my judges and what they want to win a case. Using the latest technology, my team files your application for you online. We appeal your case online. You never have to sit in a packed waiting room. Call, email, text, or video chat Lauren McKinnon today. Always no win, no fee. I guarantee it.
It's Tucker's Furniture and Appliances' incredible Red Tag January clearance. When Tucker's has to make room, you will definitely save. Tucker's showroom is filled with Red Tag savings. Find hundreds of items marked down. Sofas and sectionals, red tagged. Dining sets and leather furniture, red tagged. Bedrooms and mattresses, red tagged. Plus, get interest-free financing for 24 months during the incredible Red Tag January clearance at Tucker's Furniture and Appliance.
5 News Around the Corner, sponsored by Ghirardelli Chocolate.
Arthur Browning discovered the cave 100 years ago, and this is what he found.
Oh my goodness, this is so neat. So on this week's episode of Around the Corner, we're about to go exploring here in Nome, Missouri.
Yeah, we're at Bluff Dwellers Cave, and as Ray mentioned, it's always 56 degrees, right? So it feels nice in here.
It feels good. Yeah, Ray and Andrew, they give tours, and they're going to take us on one today, and you're going to go with us. You guys ready?
Let's go.
Oh, let's go.
You know, my grandfather, they were a farmer, like a lot of people in this area, and noticed cold air coming out of a hole inside of the bluff. So they went in and discovered this cave.
Showed up with their pickaxes and lanterns and
They had
worked
to
their way
dig
through
their
that
way
little
in.
basketball-sized hole.
And some of the passageways that we'll walk through today were only like 18 inches when he went in. He was crawling.
Oh,
so that was filled back in with clay.
So this is where he came in. He came up here, looked down there. That passageway was full of rocks, so they walked in the water. And these are actually, you can barely see them, these are his footprints from 1925.
I thought growing up that everybody had a cave.
Yeah.
What a flex.
I didn't know how special it was until I was an adult. And then you go, wow, this is a pretty cool place.
Oh, cool. And I have some bongo drums over here. Now, I don't know if any of you follow Bigfoot, but have any of you ever wondered why he's Bigfoot, not Big Feet? That's because he got stuck in the clay here and he had to leave his left foot. And if you want to come over here, I'll show you his foot, toes, and toenails.
It does look like a foot.
Look at it.
Look at
Do
all
you
the
see
toes.
This duck has been there 90 plus years.
This rubber, so this is like an original rubber
Yes.
ducky.
Who put the duck there?
I love the rubber
There was a
ducky.
tour guide. You know, kids would come in, they would look at this water and they go, oh, a duck pond.
Danny, what's the weather looking like today?
Well, I tell you what, folks, from this fancy thermometer, 56 degrees here today, and for the next 12 hours, it is also going to be 56 degrees, so a consistent forecast. I'd say it's pretty cloudy.
7-day forecast?
7-day forecast, 56 for a high, 56 for a low, 56 for a high, 56 for a low.
those two are going to come together and form what we call a column. Now, some caves call them pillars, but since we're in the Ozarks, we all know a pillar is what you lay your head on.
So we ended up right here in the museum where we're going to see a lot of the ancient artifacts that they pulled out of the cave.
Yeah, and with that we saw a lot of really cool rocks, and so we need to find some for ourselves.
Yeah, so we're gonna go panning for our own rocks, and guys, I think this one's the one.
Danny, that's the one I wanted.
Well, Joe, it's mine now.
We can share, guys.
Okay, that's the good one. Let's do it. We'll see you next time on
Around the Corner.
Dibs on the crystals.
Hey, Tiffany. Well, it was a fun time over at Bluff Dwellers Cave. Again, it's not very far into Missouri. You literally just go across the border and it's right there. Again, would highly recommend going on the tour because the tour was great. The caves are cool. And if you're a little bit more of an adventurist, you can go deeper into some caves. There's actually another cave actually across the street as well. So if you're a little bit more of an adventurer, there's kind of something for everybody. But here's a live look along I-40 at exit 37 in Ozark. You can see a partly to mostly cloudy sky across much of the river valley. And overall, we're seeing a lot of cloud cover start to build in. Also notice that just off to our north, see if I can move this here. Oh, no, it's just the arrow. Well, just off to our north, you're just at the top right here. We're starting to see a little bit of that green and white. If we zoom out a little bit, it's a little bit of a sprinkle or maybe a little bit of a flurry starting to move in here. But really, that's about it. It's just too dry to see anything else. Otherwise, the big story is this cold front is swinging through the area as we speak. And then that'll follow a second cold front that'll move through during the day on Saturday. And these two cold fronts combined, well, as you may expect, keep things rather chilly around here. There's also continue to see a northwest wind bringing in some of that Arctic air down towards Arkansas and Oklahoma. So with that strong northwest wind gusting up to 30 miles per hour, high temperatures for today are going to remain about the same as they have been the past few days. Mid to upper 40s in northwest Arkansas and low 50s in the river valley with maybe a little bit of a sprinkle or flurry. For tonight, low temperatures, pretty seasonal in the mid to upper 20s, but a little bit cooler than this morning. Continue to see that flurry chance as well as partly cloudy skies. Some winds could be a little bit breezy at times at about 15 miles per hour. As we head into the weekend, it's going to be a chilly one. There's no doubt about that, especially on Saturday. Not a lot of sunshine on Saturday. Highs in northwest Arkansas in the mid-30s, and with strong northwest winds gusting up to 30, that wind chill may not escape the 20s even at the peak heating during the afternoon. On Sunday, more sunshine, but it's going to be a cold start. Lows in the teens. And then highs will be in the mid-40s and a little bit of a southwest breeze as well, gusting up to 25. For the river valley, similar story. Highs will be in the low 40s, but wind chills at its best probably won't be, maybe in the low 30s at best with a strong northwest wind. Sunday, again, a cold start with lows in the teens. Highs, though, near 50, some sunshine, and a little bit of a southwest breeze. What the wind chills look like for the next few days, including tomorrow morning in the mid to upper teens in northwest Arkansas and low 20s in the river valley. For Sunday morning, some of the coldest area of the season we've seen so far, wind chills in really single digits. I think Fayetteville will be a little bit lower than 16, but regardless, wind chills in the single digits and lower teens pretty much across the region. Then Monday morning for Martin Luther King Day, mid to upper teens in northwest Arkansas and low 20s for much of the river valley. In terms of what we can expect for the end of next week, is there any warmth in sight? Well, you see this ridge right here. You can see that basically like the circle or the hump, that's basically going to move our way maybe by the end of January, like January 31st, February 1st. But before then, some cooler air is going to continue to arrive here. And you notice it's gray, so it's not cooler than normal. But what we're seeing right now is technically normal, so expect more of this over the next week or so. But thankfully, by the end of next week, there is a little bit of an uptick of maybe some higher rain chances as we head into the end of next week, something we desperately need with the drought conditions we've been having over the past couple of months. So to recap here, you can see kind of a yo-yo forecast here. Highs bounce back between the 40s and the 30s over the next 5 or so days before warming up a little bit on Wednesday and then seeing a little bit of a drop-off for the end of next week as well. For the river valley, we'll see high temperatures again bouncing between the 40s and the 50s. The coldest days of the week, or coldest mornings, will be Sunday morning as well as Tuesday morning. But you can see lows at its highest in the mid-30s. So still pretty chilly weather here over the next week or so. It is going to be a cold one, but this is winter in Arkansas and Oklahoma. This is what we expect. So again, pretty dry, but pretty cool here over the next 7 days. Tiffany?
All right, thanks for that, Danny. Well, a new study proves man's best friend is even smarter than we thought. Michael George shows us how our dogs can pick up on what we're thinking, even when we're not saying a word.
Down. Good girl, baby. Good girl. Jamie Tan says her 1-year-old rescue dog, Molly, is one smart puppy.
Molly is exceptionally intelligent. She picks up on everything and she doesn't forget.
And sometimes it seems like Molly knows what her owner is thinking.
She's very emotionally intelligent.
She picks up on your mood.
Yes, exactly.
Researchers at Duke University tested the intelligence of puppies in what may be one of the most adorable studies ever conducted.
In this test, we are measuring inhibitory control.
The puppies had to find treats using only nonverbal clues.
Puppy, look. Okay.
What scientists found, according to researcher Hannah Solomons, is that even at just 4 months old, puppies can understand us. In fact, they're watching us closely. There's even evidence dogs evolved to better socialize with humans.
They are really tuned into our communication and they're prepared to look to us for information.
And they're trying to communicate with us, too.
We tested how they look to humans and make eye contact to maybe make a connection or ask for help.
For a lot of dog owners, this is no surprise.
Do you feel like Pedro understands you?
I think he does. He certainly does. And very high learning curve.
And if you're wondering what you can do to encourage your dog's intelligence, the message is simple.
You're enough for your dog. Giving them a nice, loving home is going to help them develop really well, and that your dog is looking to you for information.
Maybe our connection with man's best friend was just meant to be. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
All right, it is Friday, and unfortunately today we have to say goodbye to one of our favorite reporters here on 5 News this morning, Jacob Luthi. It's his last day.
Yeah, It's been like 3.5, almost like 4 hours. I'm like, oh, it's not gonna hit. Now it's hitting. It's like this is the last time I'm gonna be here on screen in 5 News.
You can just come on Monday.
Yeah, no one's gonna turn
Door will
you
be
away,
open, Jacob.
guaranteed.
We'll welcome you back. I know everyone, and Michael, even as our news director, keeps saying, "You sure? You sure?" I'm like, yes. Not exactly sure what's next yet, but kind of figuring that out right now, and so that's an exciting time. But my dad is going to be coming here. We're going to do a road trip.
That's so fun.
Take my car and head back home, and so something we've never done before. I've never traveled across the country in a car, so that'd be really cool.
Okay, well, we have enjoyed having you here. You are an excellent and talented reporter. You mean so much to us. We're going to miss you so much.
Yeah, you're a great friend. Such a joy to be around, too. Always so positive. We've loved it. And Danny is voting for you next year for...
Sexiest man of the
That's
year.
right.
He got robbed last year. This year, he's winning, and I'll be his #1.
Fingers crossed.
There we
Group
go.
hug, guys. Group hug. Come on.
Group hug.
Group hug. Group hug. I got the...
Bring it in.
Group hug.
We're going to miss you, buddy.
We're going to miss you.
Thank you.
5 News This Morning is sponsored by Indigo Sky Casino, McKinnon Law Firm, and Tucker's Furniture.
Fridays in January, 6 to 10 p.m. Play for your chance to win your share of $75,000. Beautiful hotel suites, delicious chef-created entrees, live weekend entertainment. Indigo Sky Casino, Highway 60 west of Seneca, Missouri. IndigoSkyCasino.com. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort proudly unveils Shawano Steak and Spirits, a stunning new dining destination. Experience succulent, masterfully prepared steaks, chef-crafted signature entrees, only at Indigo Sky Casino.
I'm Laura McKinnon, a local Social Security lawyer. I don't work for one of those national advocates businesses that aren't even law firms. I grew up here. I've handled thousands of Arkansas and Oklahoma Social Security cases. I know my judges and what they want to win a case. Using the latest technology, my team files your application for you online. We appeal your case online. You never have to sit in a packed waiting room. Call, email, text, or video chat Laura McKinnon today. Always no win, no fee. I guarantee it.
It's Tucker's Furniture and Appliances' incredible Red Tag January clearance. When Tucker's has to make room, you will definitely save. Tucker's showroom is filled with Red Tag savings. Find hundreds of items marked down. Sofas and sectionals, Red Tagged. Dining sets and leather furniture, Red Tagged. Bedrooms and mattresses, Red Tagged. Plus, get interest-free financing for 24 months during the incredible Red Tag January clearance at Tucker's Furniture and Appliance.
This is 5 News.
Well, a new lawsuit has been filed against a former youth pastor and a Bentonville church alleging negligence in actions relating to child abuse sex crimes. Keenan Horde was a former youth pastor at First Baptist Church in Bentonville. He was convicted of 13 counts of sexual assault 3 years ago and is now serving a 60-year sentence. And the Washington County Prosecutor's Office will turn over every piece of evidence that they have, charging Andrew McGann with 2 counts of capital murder. The state is seeking the death penalty against McGann, who is accused of murdering Clinton and Kristen Brink at Devil's Den. A Thursday court hearing lasted about 2 minutes, during which the judge confirmed that McGann understood the latest court filings. Prosecutors told the court that the discovery process is nearly complete. And with these colder temperatures, a warming shelter in Fayetteville is just a few hours away from opening. The city is activating an extreme weather response for tomorrow to ensure community members have access to safe, warm shelter. Meals will be provided at Potter's House on College Avenue. And speaking of the cold, Danny, it's going to be a cold one out there this weekend.
Yeah, it certainly is. We're going to continue to see what we've been seeing really all week is chilly conditions at times, some strong winds at times, and maybe a few flurries flying, but really the big story is going to be the winds and the cold. You can see clouds pretty persistent across much of the region, maybe Fayetteville a little bit more blue sky, but that partly to mostly cloudy sky will continue for much of the day today. And although you're seeing northwest Arkansas in the upper 30s, it's not going to get much warmer than that later today. We'll be in the mid to upper 40s in northwest Arkansas for highs, low 50s in the River Valley. You can see those lines indicating that strong northwest wind gusting up to 30, and maybe a few sprinkles or flurries with partly to mostly cloudy skies. Heading into tonight, lows in the mid to upper 20s, so again, rather chilly. It is more seasonal, but still, we haven't really necessarily been seasonal, so this feels much colder than, well, we'd expect. Partly cloudy skies, those flurries, and a northwest wind that could be a little bit gusty at times with the 15. Heading into the weekend, as Tiffany alluded to, it is going to be a chilly one. Highs in the mid-30s for northwest Arkansas, and with wind chills probably not even escaping the 20s because of that strong northwest wind. And after a cold start to Sunday morning and lows in the teens, warming up a little bit into the mid-40s with sunshine and that southwest breeze. For the River Valley, similar story. Low 40s for highs, partly to mostly cloudy skies with that northwest wind. Probably wind chills only in the low 30s at best. And after a cold start on Sunday morning, we'll see highs near 50 in the River Valley, some sunshine, and then that southwest breeze gusting up to 25. What the wind chills will look like here, mid to upper teens in northwest Arkansas for the River Valley Saturday morning, low 20s, or excuse me, mid to upper teens for northwest Arkansas, low 20s for the River Valley, and single digits and low teens for much of the area Sunday morning. So as you can see, very chilly, windy at times, so have the layers ready. But for those heading into the weekend, have a great weekend and have a great Friday.
Well, hey, welcome back. If you're looking for something fun to do this weekend, we've got you covered.
Yeah, in Fort Smith, starting today is the opening reception of the Hearts Project.
Yeah, if that isn't enticing enough, the Fort Smith Regional Art Museum, which we've been there before.
It's amazing.
It is. They're having the collection of Dr. Chris Ashworth there at the event.
And Saturday, starting at noon, is their weekly art project.
Yep. Sunday then, the Fort Smith Public Library having a snow time, story time, and snowball fight at their main branch. I'm sure they're going to bring homemade snowballs, right?
Yes, but I mean, if you're wanting your little snow taste, there it is. Meanwhile, Crystal Bridges hosting their beloved community festival tonight.
Yep. And also today, the U of A has their Arkansas Invitational at Randall Tyson Track as well.
And then the Momentary single pitch night is on Saturday night.
The Momentary is such a great place.
It is. It's pretty neat. And then the bar up top.
Yeah, if you haven't been, you got to check that one out for sure. All right. Also Saturday there in Winslow is the Fiber Play Day at the Ozark Folksway. Winslow, such a beautiful part. If you're new to the area, you haven't been to Winslow,
the views
it's gorgeous.
Are
it's
insane.
Beautiful. Yeah.
And then finally on Saturday is the 8th annual Wedding Fair starting at noon at the Apollo on Emma Avenue. If you're a new bride, maybe you have family members who are new brides, definitely go and check one of these out because you can learn a lot at them.
Absolutely. Now you can find more information for all of those events. We'll have them listed. All you need to do is just text the word weekend. Take a look at your screen here to 479-785-5000. We'll send you that list that we just mentioned and a few more so you can find it there.